All right. The next few slides will lead us into the next practice exercise. You all have handouts, and I'll explain it in a second. So as far as setting goals, a few tidbits of information I think you need to know is that fewer than 3% of people actually set goals. And what they found out is that the most successful people are really the ones that set goals. So as soon as you start setting goals, you're at least at the upper 3% of the population. I mean, how easy is this, right? You start setting goals. Less than 3% of the people actually do it. And then less than 1% of people actually rewrite and review their goals every week. So if you now write your goals and then review them every week, you're in the top 1% of our society. And if you do not have goals for yourself, you are doomed forever to work for someone who does. And maybe that's okay with you, but more than likely, the ones that you're working for are the ones that have been setting goals. So there's another book about happiness I highly recommend you read. Okay, it's a pretty easy read. It's at the end of the slides for references. But happiness as a goal, I think you really need to think about this. And I think happiness and success, I'm going to use as synonymous terms here because success, how do you define that, and how do you define happiness? But we'll kind of touch on some of those topics. But happiness is the highest on the hierarchy of goals, and it's the end towards which all ends lead. Okay, basically what you're trying to do is, control your life in such a manner that you're happy. All right? I mean, what other thing would you want out of life? I mean, what other emotion do you want to have in your life most of the time other than happiness? Right? Melancholy? I'm not sure of pain, So, I mean, happiness is the kind of the real thing you're after. There's much research that suggests that happiness is also a means towards higher levels of overall success. That's why I really use them interchangeably. Numerous studies show that happy individuals are successful across many of life's domains. Okay? You can look at marriage, friendship, income, work performance, and health. Happiness makes a huge difference. So why not try and frame your life around trying to become happy? And the goals are indispensable for leading a happy life, and that's really, again, the way you get there. So happiness is the overall experience of pleasure and meaning, if you really want a definition of it. All right? It's the overall experience of pleasure and meaning. A happy person enjoys positive emotions while perceiving one's life as purposeful. That's what your mission statement's about. And a happy person, of course, experiences both highs and lows, but their overall state is positive, and they have the ability to kind of bounce back quickly. It's like, an athlete. An athlete that trains for a marathon, when they're done running the marathon, it doesn't take them very long to recover. Someone who doesn't, they drag them off to the hospital, right? I mean, they just aren't. And your rebound state into happiness is much quicker, even though there's times when you can't totally be happy in your life, obviously. Things happen that are out of your control. So when you pay your tax bill, you're not very happy, right? It's not out of your control, and you bounce back quickly and you get on with life. Okay. So having happiness and goals. You want goals, having and reaching goals does not guarantee success or happiness. But what it does is that to experience a set of purpose, the goal we set needs to be intrinsically meaningful. That means inside of you, an emotional state. All right? That's the ones that are really going to make a difference. You must have a self-generated purpose that has personal significance. Again, that goes back to what you define as being important in your life. You must choose your purpose in accordance with your own values and passions. And when you feel a sense of purpose, we often feel like we have found our calling in life, and that's what we talked about before. When you find that purpose and meaning. Okay. People who set goals are more likely to succeed than people that do not You want to set explicit objectives that are challenging and specific and with clear timelines and performance criteria. It'll lead to better performance. It will make commitment with words, and words have the power to create a better future. And this is really true. Making your goals public creates a sense of personal accountability. What I do with my job is the dean knows what my goals are every year. I hand him a sheet of paper. Every time I meet with him to give him updates, I hand him the sheet of paper and we talk about where I am with my goals. If he has something else I want to do, I add it on my goal sheet. It's public. Because it's public, I'm now more accountable, right? It's like, it's very easy to say, I'm going to do this, that, or the other, but I'm not going to tell my boss. All right? And then year later, it's like, geez, why didn't I get a very good raise? It's like, well, maybe if you talk to your boss and you kind of came to some agreement as far as what it is you want to accomplish over the next year, and then you made those goals and you explicitly talked about them every time you met with the boss, and then, you came up, and at the year's end, they were done. What a tremendous feeling. I remember one time a few years ago when I had a different position at Purdue, I had a very long list of goals, and I actually shared it not only with my boss, but also all the people that were working for me. And people were like, there's no way. All right, and of course my calendar year goes from July to the end of June. I finished all my goals in March because I knew what I needed to do. Now, if I had a really good boss, he probably would have come back to me and said, not very challenging. So you kind of learn from that, all right? This stuff really works, people. But making it public. If you want to do something in your family, maybe you need to make it public with someone in your family so that they hold you accountable for that. All right? And if it's that important to you, if you need to change a habit, maybe you need someone kind of looking over your shoulder a little bit, and that will help. So as far as quadrant 2 organizing again, you want to put goals for each role. What is the most important thing I could do in each role this week? Limit yourself to 1 or 2 most important goals and focus on importance rather than urgency. It's going to take you a while to organize your stuff and get out of the urgency role. But once you do, you're in the zone, and nothing is going to be urgent anymore. You simply schedule them, and that's what you do. Okay, here's the practice exercise. I want you to write at least 2 of your roles in your life on your worksheet. You all have worksheets. These are actually worksheets that are modeled after Stephen Covey. And then you're going to write 1 goal for each, and now you're going to schedule an action step. So let me just quickly give you an example. Remember, you're limited to how many roles? 7, exactly. All right? So in my life, one of my roles is Assistant Dean for Graduate Studies in the College of Technology, right? A personal role is I'm a husband, right? So I've just given you 2 of my roles. The rest of them are none of your business, right?